Oi, it's Brett Goldstein here, aka Roy Kent from Apple TV Plus's Ted Lasso. Word on the street is I'm about to be honoured by the world's largest soccer coaches association with the first annual Believe Award, which sounds like something, doesn't it? I don't know what it is, but fuck me, I'll listen. Most I take pride in doing a job where I get to swear in front of children. The real inspiration is the work that you guys do without cursing in front of them. I don't know how you fucking do it. Well played. Now, the fact that our show has seemed to connect with so many people is truly phenomenal. What it has taught us all is that inspiring players through an investment in their success, in their future, and in creating a great team environment, that is much more important than tactics and trophies. Although this trophy is pretty great. So listen, well done you all, thank you for having me, and go on, f*** off.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please rise for the singing of our national anthem. And now, your hosts for this evening, a past president of the United Soccer Coaches, Ray Seeplick, and his co-host, Dean Linke.
Well, that's a tough act to follow. Good evening, folks, and welcome to this evening's award banquet as the 75th Annual Convention of United Soccer Coaches as we celebrate our 81st year since the association was founded. It's my privilege to be one of your hosts, and in conjunction with this convention's theme, it's really great to be reunited. The enjoyment of this evening for the awards recipients is that they all have us in the banquet hall to share with them the recognition they will be receiving. And for the first time, we have the opportunity to live stream this event everywhere in the world, literally. We have a number of heritage members who could not travel this year to Kansas City, and they're out there watching along with Alex and Jacob and Anna. And Dean, it's so great to be back with you in person.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Good to see so many beautiful people. And Dr. Ray Seeplick, 28 years as the host. The only time he didn't host was in 1998 when this year's Honor Award winner, Joe Cummings, filled in for him. We don't want to see that again. We do want to give him the Honor Award. Let's hear it for Dr. Ray Seeplick, 28 years. And you already said, how do we top that? Can we make a lot of noise for Neoma Crosdale on the sax? Are you kidding me? It was so good. If you'll oblige me, I'd like to tell you a little bit about her. Obviously a saxophonist, she's also a singer and a songwriter. Her relaxing music infuses R&B, jazz, and blues. She was born and raised in Kansas City, Missouri, home of the legendary Charlie Parker, whose skills she aspires to have. She's had the pleasure of performing at every venue on 18th and Vine that includes the Blue Room, the Jazz Museum, and the Gem Theater. She is a traveling artist that's known to always give her all during her performances. Again, so beautiful. One more round of applause for that incredible performance.
And now we've had a long-standing tradition at this banquet, and that is to demonstrate our courtesy for those who are on stage or for those who are being introduced. So you've got some great food on your tables, and I'm going to ask you to just hold off your dining for a couple of minutes while we have a few brief introductions.
Each year, United Soccer Coaches recognizes those who have made outstanding contributions to the game of soccer. This evening is dedicated to honoring coaches, officials, and other luminaries in this game we all love. The nation's outstanding soccer players, in addition to the Players of the Year and the honorary All-America, will be recognized at tomorrow afternoon's All-America ceremony.
Now, we're going to start the official proceedings after dinner, but we'd like to acknowledge a few individuals that are with us this evening. I'll begin with the current leadership of the organization, the board of directors, and the advocacy representatives. You'll have the opportunity to meet our vice presidents and president later in the evening, but at this time, we want to acknowledge the other members of the board who are with us this evening. Please stand when your name is mentioned, and hold off your applause until they're all standing. Sue Ryan, advocacy chair. Greg Hubbard, our finance advocacy member. A person that left the board a year or two ago after great service, Warren Mercer, if Warren's here, and Charlie Wright, also a past member of that. Please stand, folks, and be recognized. Thanks so much.
Next, we acknowledge our sponsors and supporters. First, our apparel partner, Adidas. And we also have representatives from the American Youth Soccer Organization, better known as AYSO, as well as U.S. Youth Soccer.
Thank you, folks. And each year we have master's degree students from Ohio University with us. United Soccer Coaches is affiliated with Ohio University that offers the only degree program in the nation with a sports-specific master's degree in coaching. The students embark on a year-long program to earn their master's degree in soccer coaching under the direction of Dr. Ashley Allison and Dr. Dave Carr, who retired from his position recently. Students, please stand and be recognized.
Well done. Always good to be with fellow Bobcats. This awards banquet allows us to recognize the excellence that many in this audience have achieved during the past year. It also provides an opportunity to acknowledge and respect our history and traditions. With that, I present a distinguished group that has given much to United Soccer Coaches. Their hard work and vision through the years has brought this organization to where it is today. I will ask, please, our past presidents to stand and be recognized.
And finally, a distinguished group that represents the elite in our association. We'll ask that they each stand, and as we call their names, and remain standing until the last name is read so that we can acknowledge them all together. These are the past honor award recipients and Hall of Fame inductees.
First, George Perry, Honor Award 2020. Shellis Heineman, Hall of Fame 2020. Mike Curry, Honor Award 2019. Janet Rayfield, Honor Award 2012. Al Albert, Honor Award 2011. Roy Gordon, Honor Award 2008. Jeff Vanell, Honor Award 2007. And my main man, Dr. Ray Seeplick, Honor Award 2002.
And finally, our senior person here in the room today, Peter Gooding, Honor Award 2000, and also a member of the Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have the elite in our organization. As we continue with the program tonight, it's always appropriate to pause for just a moment to remember those in our soccer family who we have lost since we last gathered, and those in our membership who we have lost over time. So I'll ask you to just take a moment, have them remain in our thoughts as we pause. Thank you.
And now I'm pleased to invite the stage a past president and honor award recipient, the fantastic head coach for the University of Illinois, Janet Rayfield, for opening remarks.
Good evening, fellow coaches, admired colleagues, friends, those brought here through their love of the sport or their love of someone dedicated to it. May we just take a moment to reflect on the significance of this gathering. Too much time has passed since we last gathered and have been able to look into the eyes and relish the smiles and laughters of lifelong friends. Many faces normally steadfast in this crowd or new friends that would have found their way here are no longer with us. We have lost individually and collectively, but we have persevered. We have dealt with uncertainty and fear and loss, yet we have loved and loved deeply. Our world swells with ambiguity, division, tragedies of human creation, and natural disasters with no hand of human intervention. Unproven facts are stated, twisted, and accepted in order to prove righteousness rather than vetted to discern the truth. Disagreement breeds animosity and hatred rather than discussion and resolution. We fight against each other rather than band together against outside forces that threaten our very existence. Yet we, this special collection of humankind, coaches, as diverse as the people who play the game around the world, gather in celebration. Yes, amid the strife, we must celebrate the human connection that we facilitate, and acknowledge accomplishment, growth, and success. For those are the things that provide us joy and hope and love. So to those honored here tonight, thank you for being a light on some of our darker days. May we be grateful for this community that has provided a safe harbor amid the tumultuous seas, and an example of acceptance and cooperation in a world desperate for both. As we prepare to dine together, I share these borrowed words. We lift our hearts in gratitude for sharing this table of our common earth home, aware of the memory carried inside the food that will nourish us, the quiver of the seed awakening in the earth, unfolding in roots and slender stems of growth toward harvest, becoming our food today. We remember and honor the work of all the strangers whose hands prepared this banquet, aware also of the privilege of wealth and health that enables us to feast and celebrate together. Mindful above all, first and foremost, of our gracious Creator for this joy and this nourishment, for the time together to enjoy each other's presence, for the circle of love that unites us. We pray the wisdom of this divine Spirit who lives within each of us, helps us to change the structure that keeps others hungry, and that through the strength of this nourishment, we might continue to impart dignity to all who share the bounty of earth, our common home. Tonight, may you feel this joy so that tomorrow you can seek it, find it, choose it, and share it. Please enjoy your meal.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the podiums Dr. Ray Seeplick and Dean Linke.
Welcome back. Hope everybody enjoyed dinner. Just wanted to take a moment. I've told you before that I always feel lucky to have the best seat in the house as a broadcaster. That's all I ever wanted to do, but I will tell you that my favorite thing to do is the United Soccer Coaches podcast. I've interviewed almost everybody in this room as part of the podcast, so I appreciate that platform. And I wanted to thank a few people that helped me with the podcast. The first person we need to thank, because it's the first time she's actually #1 running this entire convention and still has time to help me on the podcast. Let's hear it for Erica Dyer. And real quickly, I also want to thank Bailey Conklin and Brandon Milburn, who do a great job as well. Thank you, guys.
We're going to begin this portion of the evening's festivities with a time-honored tradition. In keeping with that tradition, the outgoing president presides at all convention activities throughout the weekend prior to the incoming president beginning his or her term on Sunday morning. Our outgoing president, Dr. Missy Price, is now the newly selected USL Vice President for Women's Soccer, and our incoming president, Ashley Fontes Comber, is affiliated with ADA Football. Missy and Ashley, please join us for the gavel presentation.
Thank you, Ray. So over the last year, Dr. Missy Price has done an exceptional job of leading this association for all. She was always very poised, organized, and intentional. She navigated the uncertainty of returning us to a COVID-normative world with inclusion and precision. She's an incredible leader, a phenomenal human, and a devoted champion for diversity and inclusion. As much as it is an honor to serve on the board of this association, I truly believe that it is even more of an honor for our association to have had Dr. Missy Price as our president. So everyone, please join me in thanking and celebrating Dr. Missy Price for an exceptional presidential year.
Woo, we did it. We're here. First of all, there's a lot of thank yous that I want to say, but I want to share with you, start off kind of like maybe how I got here in the first place, and I'll tell the very short version of the story. My 6th grade class in Bedminster, Pennsylvania, at Bedminster Elementary School, you know, at the end of the year, they do all those things like most likely to become. I was voted most likely to become President of the United States. So, I don't know if they'd be proud of me, but I got pretty close, I think. I got pretty close. So, you know, I don't know if that's where this all started, but for me, being president of the association has really all been about service. I'm incredibly loyal, whether that's to my friends, my family, to the association, the teams I've coached, the players that have been in my life, my colleagues. It's just part of who I am. And I think when the time came, as I sort of emerged through my service in the association to run for the board of directors, I was a little bit like, what? And also a little humble that people saw me that way. And now I'm eternally grateful for the opportunity. I have grown so much as a person in this role. I have had the pleasure to serve with a fantastic board of directors in the time that I have been on the board for many years. I'm leaving coaching and taking a job at the USL, and I get to work with the president Amanda Vandervoort was president of the board of directors when I came into the board. So I feel like there's just a lot of connections, and that's been the message of my presidency all year, especially coming out of COVID, especially with all that we've been going through. And Janet's message at the beginning of tonight shared that same thing. For me, we are a community. We are a place where people come to learn, to connect, to grow, to advocate for the needs of coaches and players, to unite around the love of the game. All of those sort of taglines that you hear, they're not just taglines, they're our culture, they're our reality. And so thank you for being here tonight to celebrate all of the award winners, but also to join me in these moments as we get to celebrate the association and come back together. My goal as your president was to strengthen our community. And some things that were really important to me in this last year were the hiring of a new CEO, and we'll talk about Lynn in just a moment, but getting to the end of my presidency was really, the entire year was learning that Lynn was stepping away and we were going to need to replace her, and that was a giant challenge for us, and that's a highlight of my presidency. Another is yesterday we announced a partnership with a company called Return on Inclusion in order to develop inclusive environments for our players, our coaches, our front office staff, you just name it, your club organizations, and that's with Nevin Capel and her company, Return on Inclusion, and that's been a huge part of my presidency this year. And I think the last one is here, you're living it, is our ability to come back in person and enjoy a convention and enjoy all the things that come with that. So for me, those are the highlights of my presidency, and I look forward to Ashley taking over on Sunday. I still have one more day, people, so don't think you're rid of me yet. And for the first time in the association's history, 2 women will go back to back in serving as presidency. I'm really proud about that. So as I wrap up, I just want to say thank you to all the board of directors that I have been lucky enough to serve with in these last 5 years, and that I will still be on the board for 1 more year as that past president. So I'm actually kind of excited to wear my Hawaiian shirts and just kind of show up and have a good time. But I'd also like to thank Jeff, our national staff in Kansas City. You guys are awesome. I can't thank you enough. The past presidents, all of my colleagues on and off the field. I'd really like to thank people in my family. Like my dad was like, is there any way I can see this? So Dad, if you're watching, yes, hope you got the link. But thanking my parents and my sister and my wife and my kids, Kaya and Cruz. So Alicia, Kaya and Cruz, they were supposed to be here, but you know, there's this thing called COVID, so they stayed at home. But hopefully you'll, if you had any chance to interact with me, they're my lifeblood, and they're the reason why I do what I do, which is try to make a difference in the world for the people that are going to come after me. And lastly, there's someone who's not here that I would like to thank, someone who believed in me when I was about 17 years old, threw me in some coaching courses and said, I see something in you, and her name's Charlotte Moran. And I know that many of you know her and had the chance to have her in your life. And I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for Charlotte. There are so many of you out here today, people not here, that have influenced my life in a tremendous amount of way. But when I think of the person who is also maybe looking down going, heck yeah, you did it, it's Charlotte. And I wanted to really acknowledge her. The last person I want to thank is Lynn Burling-Manuel. And I think that for me, being on the board and serving during Lynn's tenure as CEO was just such an amazing and fantastic experience. As a person who is a coach and now going into the front office of soccer and becoming an executive, she was someone that I see as a mentor, as a colleague, as a friend. I learned from her leadership. I learned from her keen sense of sort of strategy and business, her expertise, her creativity, her passion. It's such an honor to have been able to work with her in that capacity. You know, she has given a lifetime of service to this association in a variety of ways, ending with her career as our CEO with the association. And I just admire her, and I wanted to take a moment to thank her. For me, working with Lynn was really about seeing a female lead this association, a female in the soccer industry, someone who, again, has devoted her life's work to the great game of soccer that we love. I'm getting emotional. I told her I wouldn't. But I'm just really grateful. I'm really grateful to have had that opportunity. She has served this association incredibly well. I'd like to give her some time on this stage. We do have a gift to honor Lynn, and I'd like to give her a chance to share her some remarks with all of you. So Lynn.
Actually, a very quick story. Those posters are like my finest legacy for the association because I love event posters, World Cup posters. These guys will tell you I have World Cup posters in my office, and I realized our convention never had a poster. So with my first convention, we started the poster trend, and so now I have things to decorate my house, my office, and every future house and office I ever have in my life. Thank you very much for being here this evening. I'm touched and I'm honored. This is a bittersweet moment in some ways. It's a brand new adventure for me, and I'm very excited about it. But you are all my friends. You are all my mentors. You are the people I have learned from, and I have been so honored to have this role. Some of you know that just after Christmas, I had eye surgery, which was very traumatic and very frightening, but I had a joke prepared about how the one thing about having eye surgery is the whole world is a little bit in a blur, and what an attractive audience you are. But the lights are so bright, it really doesn't matter. You all look very good. Just very shortly, I was very proud to be the first female CEO of this organization. And this is not to diminish Jeff in any way, because I think Jeff is a fantastic selection to be the next CEO. However, one of the things that's very important to me is not being the first woman CEO of this organization, but not being the last. And I think that's going to be a very important thing to look to the future. This is an association that has uniquely been committed to diversity and inclusion for decades. Decades. We have done things that no other entity in soccer has ever done in the way that we have done them. And I cannot tell you how proud I am to support and learn from that, but also simply be able to carry that tradition along. People in this room made those things very important long before anybody in soccer or most people in the world had heard the phrase DEI. We did it first, and we do it very, very well. And it's a legacy that I know Jeff and our board will carry on, and that will always be a fundamental part of what we do and what we are in our culture. That's important to me. I have just a couple of thank yous that I'd like to give tonight. Just a little one, because this was a very unique and one. I am a huge Ted Lasso fan, huge. I have learned more about coaching from Ted Lasso than I did in 6 years as CEO of a coaches association. But that greeting from Roy Kent tonight was courtesy of the company Mojo and Tom Arnett and Ben Sherman, who had the clout to get him to do that segment for us tonight. And the actor who performs that, Brett Goldstein, is actually a writer on the show. And he wrote that part for an actor. And he liked it so much, he asked that could he do it. And he has become one of my favorite characters ever, and I admire him enormously. Last but not least, and again, I appreciate this as a bit of a ramble, but at the same time, you don't get this opportunity to ramble to your friends very often. Our organization is unique in America because what we do is one thing. We support coaches. We are all in it for the kids. We say that all the time, and I'm the first one to say that it's so, but many organizations are in it for the kids and work for the kids. And that is an incredibly important thing to do. But what United Soccer Coaches does is unique because we have one membership, and that is coaches. That is who we support every day because they drive this sport in a way no one else does. Now, many do hard work. I don't want to diminish the work of anyone, but this is an association that celebrates, supports, and serves coaches. And what coaches do every day is incredibly important. It drives our sport in a way almost nothing else can or does. And that was built upon and I think it's our 81st year. It's a legacy of support. It's a legacy of people who knew how important coaches were and a coaches community. And every day, this association makes that important and makes it a #1 priority. And I see that as not changing in any way. I am sad to leave my role in some ways. I am very excited about the next adventure in my career. And I'm even more excited about Jeff Van Dusen becoming the next CEO of United Soccer Coaches. His enthusiasm, his creativity, his energy, his intelligence, and his passion for the association will carry this on very well. What I am doing is advising him. I will tell you, you met Missy, and she is fabulous. She is my 7th president as CEO. And I don't say that as a joke. I say that with great fondness. We have a new president every year, which is a sort of an amazing thing. But as a CEO, that is a somewhat tricky thing to manage sometimes, because as anyone will tell you, the diversity of our presidents is vast in every way possible, but it actually adds, I think, in many ways to the strength of our association. So he's starting with his, I guess the first is Missy for part of the year, the next is Ashley, but I look forward to all those to come and to all the ways that Jeff will build upon what I have done and what I have built upon what Joe Cummings has done, who is here tonight, and what Joe built upon what Jim Sheldon had done, and what Jim had built upon all of those that we stand on their shoulders today. So with that, I want to thank you for what you do, for the great honor you have done me to let me be the CEO of this association for the last almost 7 years, and I look forward to the rest of this evening. Thank you to all the award winners for all that you have done and all that you will do. Thank you so much.
Actually, one more time for Lynn Burling-Manuel, who will always be a part of our family. Lynn touched on it as I've got the great honor of introducing our new CEO, a man who is humorous but has humility, extremely loyal, and yet one of the most unique ways to motivate you to want to be better, like all great coaches and all great leaders. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Jeff Van Dusen, our new Chief Executive Officer, who is a 27-year member of the association. Started as an intern, by the way, years ago at a college cup. He's done an amazing job, as we all know, as the Director of Operations and Events for the past 10 years. His creativity has contributed to the continued development of association programs and has helped maintain United Soccer Coaches' position as the premier coaches organization in the world. He has coached and continues to coach at a number of levels, and he has a great feel for what coaches need to be successful. Please join me in greeting our new Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Jeff Van Dusen.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to get right into this, get rolling here. I look forward to the next 6, 8, 10, 12 months as we strive to diversify our education content, roll out a career planning program, add new positions to the national office that focus on high school and youth levels of the game, that mirror what we do for college. I look forward to connecting and strengthening the relationships of all organizations that involve coaches. United Soccer Coaches is the home of all coaches. We accept all coaches for who you coach and who you are as a coach. We celebrate you, we educate you, we connect with you. We all have chosen to coach because we're competitors and teachers, but ultimately, we all live for coaching to make a difference. Coaches have the biggest impact on our sport. I am fortunate and honored to take the reins of this association. That means so much to so many, and that is a solid foundation and an exciting future. This association has been built over 80 years in basements, in home offices, garages, and kitchen tables. This association has been built by strong leaders and their families. I salute the men and women who have served as presidents, and I thank you all and your family for the sacrifices that you have made. I want to thank Jim Sheldon, I want to thank Jill Cummings, and I want to thank Lynn Burling-Manuel. All of them have made their mark on growing this association. Congratulations, Joe, on earning the Honor Award. I'm not sure this association would still be here without your leadership. My dad wanted to be here tonight to congratulate you and to thank you for bringing me to the national office and to say that he was right in choosing me. Lynn, I appreciate you, and I thank you for 100% of support from day one. Thank you. There are so many people that have impacted me over the years. Thank you to Robbie and Kate, Steve Veal, Roy Gordon, Terry Gordon, Rudy and Janeth Zimmerman, Kylie Cirillo, Chris Clements, my college coach John McKenzie, Mike McFarland, Sue Ryan, and Ray Sieplick. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Here we go. The national office staff is here tonight. I ask them to stand and be recognized. Thank you for your efforts, and I'm excited to get to work. Erica, fantastic job. Thank you to the Board of Directors, led by Dr. Missy Price. Mom, Dad, Peg, I couldn't have done this without your love and support. Finally, right here in front, my wife, Caroline, my kids, Jeffrey, Anna, Adeline. Thank you for your love and support. Thank you for allowing me to pursue my dream. This week has been incredible. The buzz, the energy that is in the building has been motivating. After being together this week, it's become apparent that being apart for almost 2 years has made us more united. I look forward to work ahead, and I wish you nothing but the best. We have a lot of work to do, and I look forward to the challenge. Congratulations to all the award winners this evening, and thank you for all being members of this amazing association. Thank you.
Thank you. And as Jeff leaves, it's one opportunity to hear from one other individual. Around the convention, you've seen the banners for U.S. Youth Soccer. We're going to bring out their Chief Executive Officer to provide greetings from their association. Skip Gilbert, come on out.
Thank you. It's an honor and a privilege to be here. First, let me just say on behalf of USYS to Lynn, thank you so much for all that you've done for United Soccer Coaches. You know, the mark of a great leader is someone that not just rips a trail of success, but when they leave an organization, they've left it in such great shape with such great opportunities that their successor will be able to take their vision and climb that ladder of success. So Lynn, thank you for everything you've done. You've done so much and more. And for Jeff, good luck. And we at US Youth, look forward to working with you. For those of you who don't know us, we are the largest youth soccer organization in the country, the largest youth sport organization in the world. And a shameless plug for tonight, we have a lot of initiatives coming out in 2022. The one thing that, as a player and a coach, that I'm excited about is our Champions Cup. All I'll say is think Little League World Series for age group soccer. As a player and as a coach, I don't want to be told how great we are through a marketing department. Well, that's nice. But I want to be able to prove it on the field of play. So we'll invite national champions from USYS, ECNL, MLS, GA, and we're getting interest from countries around the world to send their top age group clubs to the country. So we're excited about that. And we're looking forward to it because now the kids can actually earn that designation. The coaches can earn that designation on the field of play. I'll end with a quote from John Quincy Adams, our 6th president. He said, "If your actions inspire others to dream more, to learn more, to become more, you are a leader." 200 years later, we could substitute leader for coach. If your actions inspire others to dream more, to learn more, to become more, you are a coach. And as I look around the room, I thank all of you for what you do to make the game better, to help our players become a success on and off the field of play. So again, on behalf of USYS, to all of the coaches here, certainly to all the award winners that are coming up, thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for your commitment, for your passion to make the players better, to make this game better. And we, of course, at US Youth look forward to working with all of you to just keep bringing players up the pipeline so that you can work your magic. Have a great evening. Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to invite President Dr. Missy Price to return to the microphone to introduce the Presidential Recognition Awards.
Go ahead over to his, yes.
All right. Tonight I'd like to present Cindy Parlow-Cohn with a Presidential Recognition Award. Just a fun fact. Cindy was at UNC when I was at the University of Maryland, and we had a short conversation back there. It's unknown whether or not I was the goalkeeper that split her lip, apparently. We could not remember maybe if that was me or not, but I definitely saved all of her shots. She did not score on me. We're clear about that, in case you guys were wondering. But all jokes aside, the reason I like to recognize Cindy is for her continued commitment, not only to the game of soccer, but growing the game and strengthening the relationship between U.S. Soccer and United Soccer Coaches. In particular, she was instrumental in helping our association become a full participating member of U.S. Soccer. And for that, I'd like to recognize her and thank her. So, Cindy, come on up.
At this time, we'd like to acknowledge the great work accomplished by the United Soccer Coaches Foundation, our foundation, during the past several years. I'll ask you to turn your direction to the slide that's on the screen, and it gives you a picture of what has happened over the last several years. Way back in 2008, the foundation set a campaign goal of $1 million, and it has not only surpassed that goal, but as you can see in the lettering at the bottom, the foundation's funds have gone to over $1.7 million. The numbers are there, and you can see how many coaches, how many players, and how many programs have been impacted through the years. It is all because of the generosity of our members and the supporters of our members who have the established funds that create those opportunities to serve in the underprivileged areas of our country. And that is the mission, and that is a goal. Thank you. Another point about the awards program this evening. In your printed programs, I know you've been reading through those during dinner, and in the printed programs, we have also acknowledged last year's recipients. Our digital or virtual convention last year, there was no printed program since the recipients received their recognition virtually. The bios for the recipients are included in tonight's programs, along with this year's recipients. One of the highest awards presented by our association is the Honor Award. During last year's convention, we had the opportunity to recognize an individual who has given so much to United Soccer Coaches in the sport of soccer. Although he was recognized virtually last year, he was not able to receive our highest honor in person, and I'd like to call him to the stage now to provide his very brief remarks, thanking those who helped him along the way. George Perry, come on up. Come on here, George.
So I'm assuming when Ray says I'm supposed to make brief remarks, he thinks I'm long-winded, which is fair enough. But no, tonight is about the winners for this coming year, our Hall of Fame winners, all the college coaches and other individuals that are going to be awarded tonight. Joe Cummings, so deserving of the Honor Award. But I just want to thank everybody so much. United Soccer Coaches has meant the world to me. My friendships at a table with a bunch of our Indiana friends back there, Jerry and Marilyn Yeagley back home, who have just given me the opportunities to do so many different things. But being a part of the Academy staff, being on the board of directors for the number of years I was, just created just tremendous friendships. And they were nice enough to have a little celebration for me at the national office yesterday, along with some others. And one of the things I said there is what's so unique about this association is that during my president's year, we had all of the former directors of coaching, associate director coaches come together, and they were all together in the room together, enjoying and celebrating each other. And yesterday, with Joe and Lynn and Jeff being in the same room, unfortunately, Jim not being able to be there with us, that's what's so unique about this place. We might have some differences on how we're going to do certain things, but we're all united under being part of the United Soccer Coaches. So thank you very much for this opportunity, and certainly thank you very much for the honor. Have a great evening.
Careful, George.
Well done, George Perry. The Media Career of Excellence Award was established to recognize a media professional for a distinguished career covering the events and issues in soccer in the United States. Before I introduce the recipient of this year's award, I have a special announcement. Many years ago, Soccer America, the Bible, was founded to help foster publicity for our sport, which was sorely lacking at the time. Its founder is the only person in media to be the recipient of the association's Cherished Honor Award, which was presented to him in 1996. We can now announce this evening that going forward in 2023, this award shall now be known as the Clay Burling Media Career of Excellence Award. Incredible what Clay Burling has done and what Soccer America continues to do. And it's only fitting, as I've known this young man since 1989 as an intern at U.S. Soccer. He's been along every step of the way all over the world and continues to get it done. This year's award is presented to Paul Kennedy.
Okay, that time that you've all been waiting for. It's time for Where Were You? This year we ask you, where were you in 1962? I'll give you 30 seconds to think about where you were. I see a lot of the coaches of the year and the staffs of the year wondering what this is all about. They weren't even a twinkle in somebody's eye. Okay, time's up. Back in 1962, a 60-year membership pin was earned through that continuous membership by one of our senior members, former Honor Award chair and former Honor Award recipient, Cliff McCrath. Cliff is concerned about being back, being tested down there in Seattle, where he is, or in Florida, wherever he is up there in the sky. And so accepting on his behalf is his son, Steve McCrath. Come on up, Steve. Now, Steve is a chip off the old coaching block, as they say. Steve is the head coach at Barry University, and in 2018, they earned the national championship, and Steve was selected as the Coach of the Year for Barry University back in 2018. Make sure your dad gets that.
Our next recognition is one of the most prestigious that United Soccer Coaches bestows. It represents a lifetime of both commitment and achievement, and that is induction into the United Soccer Coaches Hall of Fame. We now invite to the stage John Mayer, interim chair of the Hall of Fame committee, who will introduce the newest members of the United Soccer Coaches Hall of Fame.
Good evening. Every year we honor a member to join our class of inductees that is a veteran member. I know what goes into your mind when you think of a veteran member. If you watch some of our veteran members, you will see their enthusiasm and their spirit. They set the pace for all of us to follow. In learning more about this year's inductee, Robert Bob Nye, you will see what I mean.
Robert Nye, who passed away in 2014, was elected via the Veterans Balloting of the Hall of Fame Committee and will be honored posthumously. He served as the head coach at College of Wooster from 1964 to 1994, compiling a career record of 269, 188, and 41. He led the Fighting Scots to 5 Ohio Athletic Conference championships, won North Coast Athletic Conference title, and coached 16 All-Americans. His teams reached the NCAA Division III tournament 12 times. Nye was one of many student athletes from his era who graduated from Springfield College in his Massachusetts hometown and then went on to pioneer the sport of soccer in the United States. He was a tireless leader and longtime volunteer for what was then the National Soccer Coaches Association of America, where he rose to serve as president of the organization in 1980 to 81. In recognition and gratitude for his service, the association bestowed him with its Honor Award in 1992 for contributions to the game. Previously, he was inducted into Halls of Fame for Wayne County, Ohio, the College of Wooster, and Springfield College.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Scott, Gary, and Greg Nye, sons of Bob Nye.
Good evening, everybody. Certainly is a pleasure to be here. This means a lot to us, but I'd like to give thanks to a few people that have made this evening happen. Dr. Ray Siepelik, Dr. Missy Price, all you've done for the game, congratulations on your service. That's something my father really believed in, and he would be very proud of you. To Steve Veal, to Marty Cohn, to John Mayer, and to Erica Dyer, thank you for making this possible for all of us tonight. Without the hard work that all of you do behind the scenes, these things do not happen. I'd also like to congratulate the other Hall of Fame inductees this year. I know my dad would be very honored to be inducted alongside each of you. And I'd also, and I look forward to learning more this evening about tonight's award winners. I'm sure there's a lot of talent in the room. But I would like to share just a few thoughts about our dad and his. We believe, Greg and I were talking a lot over the last couple of days, that he had a genuine interest in his players and the development of the person. He really cared. And I remember as a kid, you know, Mom and Dad always talking about the players that were on the team and the neat things that they enjoyed in watching them develop as people and as players. But they were a big part, it was a big family, and I really believe that that's what coaches do. But secondly, and just as important, and it was mentioned a few minutes ago, my father truly enjoyed his coaching colleagues, some of whom are still here and with us tonight. They enriched his life and our life in so many ways. And that passion to grow the game was clearly evident to us, my brother and I, who actually chose golf as our sport of choice, because my father also coached golf while he was doing soccer. But anyway, that passion that group had of the coaches that were behind the grassroots growth of soccer in this country is just such a big part of our life. And the people that we met and the examples that they set have helped us in so many ways in our adult life. So Greg and I thought, just to keep this quick and short, because we've got a long program tonight, we just share one quick story, and this is a story about Greg and my father. And I'll take you back just a little bit, if I may. And Jeff Vanell was on my father's soccer team at Bloomfield High School in New Jersey. But in 1964, my parents, who had been, my father had been coaching at Bloomfield High School, decided that they would take a job at a small college in Ohio, the College of Wooster. So they packed up the 4 kids that we had at that time, and they made the move from high school athletics to college athletics. And going out to Worcester, Ohio back then in 1964, there was not much youth soccer, and there certainly wasn't much high school soccer. Greg and I didn't have the opportunity to play a lot of soccer in our hometown other than playing with the players that came to Worcester to play for my dad. But that was a big move to take a chance and to bring the game of soccer to Ohio. And it was such a big part of what they were trying to do. So let's fast forward from 1964 to 1994. And if you remember, the World Cup was played in the United States in 1994. And something really, really neat happened to Greg and my father as they had tickets to see the United States play Switzerland in the Pontiac Silverdome in Detroit, Michigan. And I always remember my dad talking about the chills running through his body when he went up there to that game. But what Greg shared with me recently was that he drove over from State College, where he coaches at Penn State University, and he drove over to the town that we grew up in, Worcester, Ohio, and my dad and Greg jumped in a car and drove up to Detroit to watch the United States play Switzerland in soccer. And that was a pretty special moment when you think about 1964, not much soccer in the state of Ohio. But what Greg remembers is traveling up Interstate 75, which is a road that Ohioans are very careful when they go up towards Michigan. But they drove up I-75, and Greg remembers all the cars and minivans packed with youth soccer players going up to see the World Cup. So imagine what that was like as Greg looked over at my father and the pride that he had in seeing where the game had gone. But he was part of a group of coaches that all worked together and were friends. They would stay at our house, they would come and visit, and they were always trying to help each other out, something that I try to do with our association, the PGA of America. But anyway, that was a very special moment, and we are so lucky, our family, and those in our family that couldn't be here tonight, to have such this rich history of soccer in our blood. But I know that if my dad was here this evening and my mom was standing beside him, that they would just be absolutely thrilled that he is being inducted into the Hall of Fame, and especially all the people that are already in the Hall of Fame and that will follow. So thank you so much. We really appreciate it. We're very grateful.
Jeff Tipping has earned many accolades that support his induction into the United Soccer Coaches Hall of Fame. But his proudest achievement in his role as Director of Coaching Education was the development of the Master Coach Diploma course, a path that challenged the candidates and inspired them to be among the leaders in soccer coaching. Let's see what the coach's coach has to say.
Yes, I got involved in soccer growing up in the city of Liverpool, but very important to remember, in the borough of Everton, which is my team in England anyway. So we did in the street every day playing soccer, in the summers going down to the park. There's a park that separates Liverpool's ground from Everton's ground. It's called Stanley Park, and we used to go down there in the summer, and that's where we'd play. And imagine that we were professional players, you know, obviously. And then in high school, we had a very, very good high school team, all boys school. And we played against an American college, which Francisco Marcus brought over. He spotted me playing, and that's how I ended up coming to Hartwick College. It was after that game, and that was in 1974. The major influences of my soccer career were obviously the city of Liverpool itself, because it was such a great soccer city, and of course still is. I got involved in coaching education at the very start of the academy. They had held the first NSCA academy, I believe, was held at Duke University. And then Jimmy Lennox said to me, we've just begun this academy program. Would you have an interest in being an instructor? So I said, well, I don't know much about it, but I'll certainly give it a go. My greatest achievements, the best memories I have of what I achieved with the NSCA, number one was putting together a really, well, building upon the other directors of coaching who went before me, putting together a really top-notch staff. We had national team coaches on the staff, we had top-level Division I college coaches, we had high school coaches, but all had gone through our programs and were very, very familiar with the NSCA culture, which I think is very, very important. And I think probably more than anything else, just the continuing development of the culture of the NSCA academies. I've had people come up to me at the end of academies and say, it's over? Yeah, it's over. You got to go home. Because the environment which is developed by all the directors of coaching over the years has been so friendly, so engaging. I just think I've cultivated a fantastic environment for learning. To me, working for the NSCA, and being a member of the NSCA is not an organization, it's a cause. It's a cause to elevate the level of soccer in the United States. It's a cause to promote our game in the United States and make our game a respected game, which it is more and more. And I think it's the cause aspect of being an NSCA member which is so alluring to new members who come in, because although we try and compete against each other, there is a level at which we all work together. If you understand what I'm trying to say, to make soccer a better sport in the United States. And that has always, get all tripped up. That's always struck me as being the strength of our organization, is that we work together for this cause, and it's great. It's really easy to work for an organization when you really believe in its values, and when you really believe that we have something special. And I've always felt that way about the NSCA. There's something special about this organization. And I've been to a lot of organizations, that's great, it's terrific. But there's something about our organization which is unique. And the collegiality, and it may be the cause that they're not fighting for the cause in quite the same way as Argentina or in England. But we understand that there's a level that we compete at, that's great, but there's also a level that we have to cooperate with to try and bring the sport to the forefront.
Jeff was unable to be with us in person this evening since he is in England and was unable to make the travel here. However, he has provided us with some recorded remarks.
I am honored to be chosen for induction into the United Soccer Coaches Hall of Fame, and I am privileged to be a member of this auspicious group. Many thanks to those of you who've helped me along the way. It's not been all plain sailing, however. I remember as a professional player, the coach said to me, "Tipping, you have deceptive speed. You're actually a lot slower than you look." But I'm sorry I cannot be there in person to share in this wonderful event, and also for the wonderful coaching family which the United Soccer Coaches has developed. I hope that young coaches shall use the USC to gain experience and knowledge. It truly is a wonderful organization. Thank you once again. God bless America. God save the Queen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jeff's wife, Chrissy Tipping.
Here at the convention, we cross paths with new friends and old friends. If you've ever crossed paths with Mike Pantaleone, you seem to get swept up right into that path. If you've ever had the pleasure of meeting Mike, you are in for a treat during this clip.
My name is Michael Pantaleone, and I've been fortunate enough to be recognized for induction into United Soccer Coaches Hall of Fame. The most significant contribution as a coach, mentor, and teacher to a generation of student athletes, quite simply, were taking care of my daily duties and having fun in the process. We are in a position to help young people achieve their goals. This doesn't happen overnight. Hopefully their experiences with me provided them lifetime guidelines towards success. A good coach is not looking for anything in return. If they can remember my name, let's say a few years from now, that's good enough for me. The beauty of the game is the beauty of the relationship. It was never my plan to be a soccer coach. One unique opportunity led to another. From doing a welcome back cotter at my old high school, Archbishop Wood in Philadelphia, to having the opportunity to start and develop youth soccer programs in 15 Montana communities, to working at Kenyon College in Gambier, Ohio, to teaching and coaching soccer at Portland, Oregon's Jesuit High School, to coaching men's and women's soccer at the University of Wisconsin, Green Bay, which ultimately allowed me to finally move south at the 40th parallel to Yavapai College, where they actually paid me to coach outdoor soccer in beautiful Prescott, Arizona. What a deal. Tomorrow is promised to no one, is simply my philosophy when guiding players. That means going above the job description by making the most of each and every day for the players. In those early days, parents and players would ask me what the word Yavapai means. Quite simply, it means winning soccer. Yava, winning, Pi, soccer. It's that simple. At the 1968 Summer Olympics in Mexico City, long jumper Bob Beamon broke the world record by almost 2 feet. He went down to his knees after his accomplishment, held his head, and got the feeling. After the first Super Bowl that Tom Brady won, he held his head and got the feeling. It was an honor to see so many players at Yavapai College get the feeling during my tenure. As I start my retirement days, I've been asked by a lot of folks, do I miss coaching college soccer? Quite simply, I got tired of hearing myself. But I don't get tired of remembering the young men and women that played for me. My name is Michael Pantaleone, extending my sincere appreciation to those that supported and participated in my soccer journey.
Ladies and gentlemen, accepting the award for Michael Pantaleone is past President Jeff Farnsworth.
What would Michael say? You know, Mike called late this week and had to cancel coming here because of some personal issues. So we were thinking of getting a Zoom call and having him give some remarks. But how do you top that video? And the Nyes, both accomplished golf coaches, instructors. Greg Nye, who was holding the plaque, is a coach at Penn State University, the golf coach. And Scott is the professional at the very prestigious Marion Club in Pennsylvania, one of the best courses in the world. So we talked to them, and this is what they offered. Greg is going to give free lessons to anybody that wants them here in the morning. And Scott is going to allow a free round of golf for anybody holding a banquet card here today. Not. Again this year, the United Soccer Coaches recognizes the 30 Under 30 program. Here to describe the program is United Soccer Coaches Vice President Heather Dyke, who is the women's soccer coach at the University of New Mexico. And with the participants of the 30 Under 30 program, please come to the stage. Heather.
The United Soccer Coaches 30 Under 30 program is a year-long education and mentorship opportunity for a select few up-and-coming individuals who have made coaching their career. This program was created to support fledgling coaches and foster their growth at a crucial point in their vocation. The 2021 United Soccer Coaches identified a special group of young coaches who want to lead the way in developing soccer players and enhancing the game. The 30 men and women standing in front of you have shown dedication to impacting their communities and careers in coaching. Throughout the program, this group of individuals, whose names you can find in your printed programs, will complete an advanced coaching course, participate in extensive research studies and mentorship, and are here with us this week at the annual convention. Please join me in congratulating the future of coaching and the future of the game.
For the recipients going forward, we're observing social distancing rules. So as you come up to receive your award, we have President Missy Price on one side and you'll be on the other, and we passed the test. At this time, I'll ask the National Coaches of the Year and the representatives of the National Staffs of the Year to please report to your left out the lobby doors where you came in, where our crack awards team will meet you and escort you to the staging area. Coaches of the Year and Staffs of the Year.
The letter of commendation is awarded to a United Soccer Coaches member for a body of work that exemplifies career or long-term service and impact beyond the field of competition. We invite immediate past president Kevin Sims from Charlotte Country Day School to announce the recipients. President Dr. Missy Price will present the awards.
Good evening. It gives me great pleasure to announce tonight's wonderful recipients of the United Soccer Coaches Letter of Commendation. Would the following please come forward to receive their well-earned awards? Becky Burley, Sandy Williamson, Dan Wogue, and Greg Winkler.
For her selfless service to the game, Burley, the former head coach at the University of Florida, has served in numerous leadership roles with the association, including the Bill Jeffrey College Long-Term Service Award Committee, the Women's Soccer Advocacy Group, the NCAA Division I Regional Rankings Committee, and the All-America Committee. Williamson's contributions, professionalism, and commitment were critical to the growth and success of United Soccer Coaches. The first employee hired by Executive Director Jim Sheldon, Williamson ran the national office, managed membership and member services, and was the registration manager for the national convention. As a volunteer, Winkler gave many hours to the Advocacy Council and to high school coaches around the country as the chair of the High School Boys Advocacy Group. A member of United Soccer Coaches since 1983, Wogue's contributions have been from a variety of roles in the game, including as a player, a coach at the youth and high school levels in Connecticut, a writer and journalist covering issues in the game from multiple publications, including Soccer America, and as a leader in the association's advocacy groups, including the e-chair of the LGBTQ+ and allies since its inception.
The Mike Berticelli Excellence in Coaching Award is presented in memory of the Notre Dame coach who was serving as the Vice President for Education when he passed away in January 2000. Each year, a member of the Academy staff is recognized for outstanding performance in Academy educational programs. Sue Ryan, Chair of the Advocacy Council from Stony Brook University, will introduce this year's recipient who will receive the award from our President, Missy Price.
Thank you. It is my privilege to announce that the Mike Berticelli Excellence in Coaching Education Award for this year is presented to Deb Raber. Please come forward, Deb.
Has served as an instructor for both the National and Advanced National Diploma courses, as well as all levels of the Association's goalkeeping certification courses. She is a longtime member of the organization's Ethics Committee and is the National Chair of the Senior College Women's Scholar All-America Committee. She has been a head college coach for 29 years and is currently the women's soccer coach at Massachusetts College of Liberal Arts.
Before we begin announcing the winners of the National Coach or Staff of the Year for each level of coaching, let's take a moment to acknowledge the regional and national chairs of the Coach and Staff of the Year committees for all their efforts in organizing this program. The list is lengthy, and the names are listed on page 37 of your printed program. Regional and national chairs, would you all please stand to be recognized? Thank you.
Thank you for your fine work, coaches. And I'd like to point out that on pages 25 through 29 of the programs on your table is a list of the coaches and staffs of the year at each level of competition. The regional winners are recognized at the respective events throughout the convention. In each case, the Coach and Staff of the Year programs begins with regional selections conducted by the regional chairs that you just acknowledged. A second voting process determines the national winners. At the senior college NCAA level, the staffs of all Final Four teams are added to the ballot if their names are not already there. And now, on to the winners of the 2021 United Soccer Coaches National Coach and Staffs of the Year Awards. I'll ask President Missy Price to take her place. And we begin.
Long-term service awards are presented at the youth, high school, and college levels. The Charlotte Moran Award is given in recognition of long-term service in the area of youth soccer and is named after an individual who worked tirelessly on behalf of supporting youth soccer throughout the nation. To announce the recipient of the award for youth soccer, please welcome Vice President Rusty Oglesby from Northwest High School in Justin, Texas.
Thank you very much. I'm pleased to announce tonight that the recipient of the Charlotte Moran Long-Term Service Award is my good friend, Doug Williamson.
You get fingerprints on it.
Soccer Coaches member since 1983. Williamson is a longtime instructor on the Association's National Academy staff, serving since 1994. He has been a senior academy staff coach since 2006. He became certified to teach the then NSCAA state diploma course in 1986 and has taught that course more than 50 times. Williamson served as the Assistant Director of Coaching Education for 5 years, providing oversight for administration of both national and regional academy courses. In addition, he has served as clinician at numerous conventions and revised the current United Soccer Coaches Code of Ethics.
Doug, I hope you don't mind me telling folks that you said you just pulled your hamstring going up the stairs. Take care of that thing. The 2021 Youth National Coach of the Year is our first category. The national chair is Louise Waxler from McLean Youth Soccer in Virginia. And this year's winner is Kimberly Crabb from the Wilmington Hammerheads Youth Football Club in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Crabb serves as the Outreach Program Director of the club and is still active coaching youth of all ages. In a week, she can personally share soccer and life skills with over 800 at-risk and underserved youth within her community. Crabb has received citations and awards too numerous to mention, but she is particularly proud to be a member of the Virginia DC Soccer Hall of Fame. In 2018, she was presented with the Black Soccer Coaches Advocacy Group Award of Excellence.
Congratulations. Our next award was named in honor of Robert W. Robinson, who was a successful high school coach, longtime treasurer of United Soccer Coaches, a past president, an honor award recipient, and a member of our Hall of Fame. Robbie continued to serve as a convention manager for many years. And this award, the Robert W. Robinson High School Long-Term Service Award, is supported by the American Youth Soccer Association, also known as AYSO, and we thank them for their support. Announcing the recipient of the Robinson Award this year is Vice President Ashley Fontes Humber. And joining is Matt Winiger from AYSO.
I am pleased to announce that this year's recipient of the Robert W. Robinson Award for long-term service to high school soccer is Norm Hillner from Arlington Heights, Illinois.
A United Soccer Coaches member since 1981, Hillner served as the Midwest Region Chair of the United Soccer Coaches Boys High School All-America Committee for the past 15 years. In addition, he was the Illinois State Chair of the Boys High School Coach of the Year Committee. As president of the Illinois High School Soccer Coaches Association, Hillner was influential in negotiating a partnership with United Soccer Coaches for both membership, awards, education, and the convention within the state association and the state of Illinois. He assisted several other Midwestern states in organizing similar high school soccer coaches associations for partnerships with United Soccer Coaches. Hillner remains active with the state association as its executive board advisor and chairs its Hall of Fame committee. He received a certificate of appreciation from United Soccer Coaches in 2012 and was a 2014 recipient of its letter of commendation.
And now for the High School Coaching Awards. We'll begin with High School Assistant Coach of the Year. The national chair is Greg Mauck from the Canterbury School in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And the winner is Nathan Greiner from Meridian High School in Virginia.
A longtime assistant at Meridian High School, Greiner helped the Mustangs to a 15-0-1 overall record and the program's 11th state championship last spring.
Congratulations. The next category is National Coach of the Year for High School Girls. The national chair is Doug Kidd from Swansboro High School in North Carolina. And in the small public school division, the Coach of the Year is Pamela Malone from Chagrin High School's Falls High School in Ohio.
Malone guided the Chagrin Falls girls soccer team to the OHSAA Division II State Championship in her final season this fall as the team posted an 18-3-2 overall record. She concluded her 30-year career as the winningest high school female soccer coach in Ohio with 398 victories and 2 state titles.
And for high school girls in the large public schools division, the winner is Jim Davidson from Broomfield High School in Colorado.
Davidson shepherded Broomfield to an undefeated 13-0-1 spring 2021 season, winning the school's first state title since 2006. This is Davidson's second National Coach of the Year honor, having also been named in 2016.
Moving on to high school girls at the private parochial level. The National Coach of the Year winner is Greg Kohler from St. Dominic High School in Missouri.
Kohler mentored his St. Dominic team to a 25-0 record and a Missouri Class 4A state title last season. It was his 5th state championship at 4 different levels in 20 seasons at St. Dominic. He has a career record of 408, 104, and 24.
The next category is the 2021 United Soccer Coaches National Coach of the Year for high school boys. The national chair is Kevin Denson from Norfolk Academy in Virginia. And in the small public schools division, the winner is Aaron Moss from Skaneateles Central School District in New York.
Moss led Skaneateles to an undefeated season and the New York State Class B title, the 3rd in program history. He finished his coaching career at Skaneateles with a 246, 77, and 22 record and 6 Section 3 titles.
Congratulations. High school boys in the large public school division is next. The winner is David Zimmerman from Conestoga High School in Pennsylvania.
Zimmerman capped off a perfect 26-0-0 season with the PIAA Class 4A state championship. It was the 5th state title for Conestoga, all of which have come under Zimmerman in his 20 years at the helm.
Congratulations.
And in the high school boys private parochial category, the winner is Michael McLaughlin from St. Ignatius High School in Ohio.
McLaughlin led St. Ignatius to a perfect 23-0-0 season and the Wildcats' 3rd straight Ohio Boys Division I championship. This is the 2nd National Coach of the Year award honor for McLaughlin, who won this award in 2005.
For a number of years, the ISAA and then United Soccer Coaches has presented the Bill Jeffrey Award in recognition of long-term service to intercollegiate soccer. The award is named for the legendary Penn State coach who also coached the United States at the 1950 World Cup. We now call on Vice President Ashley Fontes Comber to return to announce this year's recipient.
I'm very pleased to announce the recipient of this year's Bill Jeffrey Award is Leslie Gallimore from Seattle, Washington.
United Soccer Coaches member since 1990, Gallimore spent 26 years as the women's head coach at the University of Washington. Currently the commissioner of the Girls Academy, Gallimore is a frequent featured clinician in the annual convention. She served as the association as a member of its board of directors and was its president in 2018. Gallimore was the 2012 recipient of the Women's Soccer Award of Excellence, presented to an individual who has provided long-term service to the women's game on behalf of the association and the sport in the United States. She has also served as the United Soccer Coaches National Academy staff member since 1995.
God bless you. And now for the presentation of the National Staffs of the Year Awards for Intercollegiate Competition. The first category are the Junior College Staff of the Year for Women's Division III. The national chair is Megan Rutler from Rowan College in Gloucester County, New Jersey. And the winner in Division III is Hartnell College in California with head coach Ivan Guerrero.
Guerrero and assistants Hugo Gonzalez and Miguel Gutierrez guided the Panthers to the California Community College Athletics Association State Championship posting a 22-2-2 record.
Ivan was not able to be with us this evening.
The next category is for the Junior College Staff of the Year for Women's Division II. The winner in Division II is Jones College in Mississippi, head coach Dolores Deasley.
Deasley, assistant Tori Brook, and volunteer assistant Adrian Camato helped the Bobcats to a 14-2-1 record and claim their 6th region title in 9 seasons. In addition, they helped Jones make its 2nd straight NJCAA National Tournament appearance.
Well done. Next, we have Junior College Women in Division I, and the winner is Eastern Florida State College head coach Scott Carswell.
Carswell and assistant coaches Jordan Hubbard, Sidney Drinkwater, and Eddie Raleigh led the Titans to the program's first NJCAA Division I National Championship and finished with a 10-2-3 record.
And now to the men. The national chair for junior college men is Stephen Brody from Oakton Community College in Illinois. For junior college men's Division III, the winner is Hartnell College in California, head coach Daniel Ortega.
Ortega and assistants Frank Alvarado and Carlos Bopini helped the Panthers to a 22-3 record and a runner-up finish in the California Community College Athletics Association State Championship. It is the 2nd national honor for Ortega and his staff.
Well done, Denny. Moving on to Junior College Men's Division II. The winner is Pima Community College in Arizona, head coach David Cosgrove.
Cosgrove and assistant coaches Paul David Salis, Anatole Lavoie, and Rene Huerta led the Aztecs to a 19-1-1 final record and the NJCAA Division II men's national title. It is the 2nd National Staff of the Year recognition for the group.
Congratulations.
Moving on to junior college men's Division I, the winner is Iowa Western Community College head coach Mike Brown.
Brown and assistants Cesar Herrera, John Schad, Trevor Ward, and Kevin Lamont guided the Reavers to a 19-1-1 overall record and an NJCAA Division I National Championship, the first for this staff.
Next on the program are the National Staffs of the Year for NCCAA, that is the National Christian College Athletic Association. The national chair is Dan Wood from Greenville, South Carolina. And for the women, the winner is Great Lakes Christian College in Michigan with head coach Sam Sabilski.
Sabilski and assistants Jason Barron, Marcus Charlick, Marquise DeLong, and Gregory Lewis led the Crusaders to a 13-4-1 record on the way to an NCCAA Division II National Championship in their 2nd year with the program.
Good job.
Now to the men's category in the NCCAA. The winner is Bob Jones University head coach Greg Fulton.
Fulton and assistants Ryan McCarty, Micah Klein, and Paul Christensen mentored the Bruins to a 17-2-2 overall record and the program's 2nd NCCAA Division I Men's National Championship.
Well done. Next, we have the NAIA Women's National Staff of the Year. The national chair is Scott Oliver from Siena Heights, Michigan, and the Staff of the Year winner is the University of Tennessee Southern head coach Will Austin.
Austin and his assistants Zach Crownover and Emily McNeil guided the Firehawks to a 23-1-0 overall record and the program's 3rd NAIA national title.
The National Staff of the Year for NAIA Men is next. The national chair is Will Dyer from Lawrence Technology University in Michigan. And the Staff of the Year winner is Kaiser University in Florida, head coach Gavin Oldham.
Oldham and assistant coaches Sam McNutt, Evan Finnegan, and Ramon Talente led the Seahawks to a 16-3-1 record and the program's first NAIA Men's National Championship.
Good job. Now moving on to the NCAA level, the national chair is John Daly from Williamsburg, Virginia. Starting with the National Staff of the Year for NCAA Division III Women, the winner is Christopher Newport University head coach Jamie Gunderson.
Gunderson and the staff of Sean Killian and Brian Liebert guided the captains to an undefeated 23-0-0 season and the program's first national championship. What makes this honor all the more amazing is that the staff accomplishment, they did this in their first season at Christopher Newport.
The Staff of the Year for NCAA Division II Women is next, and the winner is Dallas Baptist University head coach Michelle Lennard.
Lennard and her assistants Leah Sedgwick, Maggie Scales, and Corey Marr led the Patriots to an NCAA Division II Final Four appearance and an overall record of 20-4. The 20 wins were a school record.
And now for NCAA Division I Women, the winner is Brigham Young University, represented by head coach Jennifer Rockwood.
Rockwood and assistant coaches Brett Anderson, Steve Magleby, and Maddie Gates guided the Cougars to a 17-5-2 record, a West Coast Conference title, and the school's first ever NCAA College Cup appearance.
Great going, Jennifer. Nice going.
Moving on to NCAA men's competition, the national chair is Jerry DiBartolo from Salisbury University in Maryland, beginning with Division III. The Staff of the Year winner is Connecticut College, represented by head coach Reuben Burke.
Led by Burke and assistant coach Andrew Storton, the program completed its most successful season in school history with a final record of 19-4-1, capturing the NCAA Division III national title. It was the institution's first team national championship in any sport.
So sharp, man. Good job, Owen. The Staff of the Year for Division II men is next, and the winner is California State University, Los Angeles, head coach Chris Shamides.
Shamides and assistants Michael Erush, Dallas Jousey, Michael Haswell, and Omer Zaney mentored the Golden Eagles to an 18-2-3 final record and the program's first NCAA Division II national title.
Got some fans out there. Good going.
Our final collegiate category is NCAA Men's Division I, and the National Staff of the Year in Division I from the national champion Clemson University, head coach Mike Noonan.
Noonan and assistants Phil Jones, Camilo Rodriguez, and Rob Thompson led the Tigers to a 16-5-2 overall record and the program's third NCAA Division I national championship.
As Coach Noonan departs the stage, I would like to thank United Soccer Coaches President Dr. Missy Price for taking part in presenting the awards to all of this year's recipients. Let's hear it for Dr. Missy Price.
All right, take a break.
And now we'll move on to our final presentation of the evening, and that is for the prestigious Honor Award. Making the presentation is the chairman of the Honor Award Committee, my partner here on the stage for the evening, 28 years as the host, Dr. Ray Seplick.
Thank you, Dean. And as Dean departs, he's such a professional. He's the voice of the podcast for United Soccer Coaches. He's all over this convention. 2 nights ago, he was in Florida, and he was at Florida State doing the basketball game against Miami. Hustled back here on the plane for a busy weekend. He's a true professional. Dean, thanks so much. And I'd also like to acknowledge the great work done by United Coaches, Soccer Coaches, National Staff folks. All of these displays and all of the continuity of the program could not take place without them. First, our voice in the sky back there, Pat Madden. And our folks in the graphic design department, Rusty Kugler and Shelby Fraser. Bailey Coughlin in the marketing department. And HMX Productions, those professional folks who put on all of the electronics displays that you see here, the sound systems. Thank you, HMX. The Honor Award is the highest recognition provided by United Soccer Coaches. To select each year's distinguished recipient, the Honor Award Committee considers the key criterion for selection, and that is, the individual must have given meritorious service to United Soccer Coaches and the sport of soccer. So it's not an award to be won through competition or the compilation of victories or to be sought through multiple letters of recommendation. Rather, to qualify for consideration, the individual must have provided meritorious service in one or more of the following areas: intercollegiate soccer, interscholastic soccer, youth soccer, soccer media, or soccer administration. Well, for this year's selection, 5 out of 6 ain't bad. This year's recipient certainly reflects the criteria established by a very wise group of association leaders some 80 years ago. Tonight's recipient, Joe Cummings, is a native of Southborough, Massachusetts. He's a graduate of Providence College, and he earned a master's degree at Springfield College while working in the public school sector. Being involved with soccer was a natural progression for him. His bio is replete with recognition for the challenges he undertook, and you can read about them in tonight's printed program. Here are just a few of the recognitions bestowed upon him. Northborough Middle School Teacher of the Year, Massachusetts Coach of the Year, NSCAA New England Coach of the Year, Massachusetts Youth Soccer Hall of Fame, New England Soccer Hall of Fame. How then does an individual with those recognitions qualify for the association's highest award for service to our association and soccer? During his 40-year membership with United Soccer Coaches, Joe demonstrated that key criterion, service, again and again in a number of ways. Some of them were as regional representatives in the former board of directors structure, manager of coaching education programs. He served in almost every convention operational responsibility, including exhibits, meals, and programs, and serving as a member of the United Soccer Coaches Board of Directors for 11 years, culminating in his role as president in 2004. He's been a champion for a number of initiatives for the association, and his tireless efforts on behalf of the membership are well documented and can be summed up by the phrase, meritorious service. And all of that prior to serving as our Chief Executive Officer from 2009 to 2015. As you will see in the video, he has touched nearly every aspect of our organization's projects. But more than all the achievements and accolades that he's received, Joe Cummings is recognized tonight with the Honor Award for his unselfish involvement, his dedication, and his service to the game, which reflects his passion for the sport and his significant contributions to United Soccer and the greater soccer community. But before we roll the video, I'll direct your attention to the screen to see what soccer luminaries wrote to tell us about Joe. I've witnessed firsthand the positive effect Joe Cummings has had on the growth of soccer in this country, not only through his long association with United Soccer Coaches, but also because of his earlier involvements in both high school and college soccer in Massachusetts. He also had a tremendous impact when he was the general manager of both our WUSA and WPS Boston Pro teams when I played for the Boston Breakers. Congratulations, Mr. Cummings, on receiving the Honor Award, and that was from the world's all-times cap leader with 354 caps, Christine Lilly. And finally, I enjoyed attending your 2014 Philadelphia Convention, where I was proud to be named an honorary All-American. I'm equally proud to offer my sincere best wishes to tonight's Honor Award recipient, Joe Cummings, a dear friend for the past 10 years, and someone who I know has played a big part in the growth of football in the United States during his career, especially for United Soccer Coaches. Congratulations, Joe, on your well-deserved honor. Sir Alex Ferguson, manager, Manchester United. And now let's have a look at the video.
I first became involved with soccer in 1959, as a matter of fact, as a 10-year-old at the Woodward Elementary School in Southborough, Massachusetts. And one of our teachers, Arthur Mulrain, he was actually my 5th grade teacher, introduced me to soccer through an after-school program. Imagine with all the youth soccer, organized youth soccer we have going on right now, that there was an after-school program in 1959. And I remember the joy that I felt playing Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday afternoons, the love that I had for the game, the creative side of it as an individual, but then that fit into the team concept. And I'm not sure that the field was as big as a real field. I can't imagine what the soccer ball was, but that joy that I felt in playing that game as a 10-year-old, that joy continued and brought me into coaching and brought me to the association. The philosophy that I took to all of the opportunities and to all of the different levels of engagement always centered on building something. I enjoy the process of building something, and I enjoy being a change agent. So when I saw a situation that I knew I could get involved in and had building it as the centerpiece, that was something that I was very interested in. And then joining the association and becoming involved in building and growing the events that the association was responsible for me, my philosophy was always centered around asking the question of what's next, of myself and of the organizations that I was responsible for. I always wanted to continue building, and that's been the centerpiece of my philosophy. The contributions to the game that I am most proud of, there are really two. The first one would be the differences. I've been a coach both boys and girls. I have been involved in the high school game and the college game. I was involved in the professional game, obviously with the New England Revolution and then with the Boston Breakers. But the combination of the two suits, as we say, the track suit for the coach and the business suit for the business person, I really, really am most proud of having merged the business of soccer and the soccer business. Being able to take opportunities that perhaps were centered on the field, but then have people realize the value of the business approach that would give them a sustainable financial model. I think that's what I'm most proud of. I went to my first national convention. Tim Shum was president at the time, and Tim, in his president's remarks, urged anyone who wanted to get involved to introduce themselves, to come up and say to Tim, "I'd like to get involved." I did. I went up to Tim and said, "What can I do?" Tim, minutes later, or moments later perhaps, introduced me to Ron Broadbent, who at that time was managing the academy programs. That was just at that point the national and the advanced national. And the next thing I knew, I was the director, the coordinator, the program manager for the national and the advanced national education programs that we had. Finished that off, and what followed was somebody tapping me on the shoulder and saying, "Would you like to get involved in the convention?" And the rest, as they say, is history. For me, the strength of United Soccer Coaches is, in our new name, is in that word united. But the thing that I was most struck by as far as its strength was, first of all, obviously, its history. But secondly was what we describe as the legacy members. There's a parental pride in those of us that have been part of the sport and part of the association for a lot of years. And we invite the next generation to join the association and to become involved. And then we show them the way. We mentor them, we take the new young coaches, we introduce them to the sport, we introduce them to the way to continue to mentor those that are coming behind them. And that's the thing that meant the most to me. My involvement with the association has been a gift of friendships. Those friendships are ones that began, in many cases, some of them were friendships that existed before. But as a 40-year member, those friendships, when you think about it, have lasted now 4 decades. And they came about because of my membership. And they are friendships that will carry on well beyond attending the convention. And I think for me, what it has meant to me and meant to my life is these friendships that will go on forever. I always knew that I wanted to be part of the association, and I didn't realize how much I wanted the association to be a part of me and my family. And our family became involved in the association, probably because I talked about it so much, but it became part of us also.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 2021 United Soccer Coaches Honor Award recipient, Joe Cummings.
Richard Leiter, one of America's preeminent executive and leadership coaches, states that the purpose of life is to live a life of purpose. Whatever the purpose of my life has been is due to the 3 families. The family I was born into, the family Anne Marie and I created together, and the family of the NSCAA, now United Soccer Coaches. Each family gave me purpose. From the Central Mass Soccer Coaches Association, I learned the following lesson. Remember where you came from, and don't ever forget how you got to where you are now. Central Mass Soccer, the memories and the friendships helped to make me who I am today. My stops along the way at MLS, USL, WUSA, WPS, U.S. Youth, and friendships nurtured through international travel provided leadership lessons learned. Thank you to colleagues at all the teams I work for, and for those friends at Manchester United, Barcelona, and Eintracht Frankfurt. The Cummings Convention Scholarship Fund provides an opportunity for association members to attend the convention. Thank you to all engaged in our foundation. I thank all who serve this association as board members and as presidents, especially those I worked with during my years as CEO. Randy Waldrum, Marcia McDermott, Paul Payne, Ralph Polson, Jack Huckle, George Perry, and Mike Jacobs. To the present staff at United Soccer Coaches, thank you. To the staff at what was then the NSCAA, many have come and gone, but I remember each one of you for being there with me. To Lynn Burling-Manuel, I hope that I, as CEO, prepared the association for your steady hand and leadership. And now a new CEO, someone I hired to join the organization many years ago. And I did so for this reason. Jeff Van Duzen, I knew that this association was part of you and always will be. We welcome and accept your leadership. To Hank Steinbrecher, Tom Meredith, and Chris Weish, our friendships have many points of connection, have many years of sharing, and have continued for the following reason. I trusted you. Never once did I wonder, never once did I question, never once did you give me reason to think otherwise. Trust. I hope that I return that in equal measure. To the previous honor award recipients, thank you for your faith, and I will carry forth in a manner as you all have, with grace, respect, and dignity. I was welcomed into this organization by many of you sitting in the audience, and by some no longer with us. I remember all who did so. I was presented with and sought opportunities to lead this organization, embraced those, and was honored to do so. This association gave me purpose. Due to distance, dog sitting, and young children, there were some members of my family unable to come this evening, and I wish to acknowledge them. My brother Anthony, our son Paul's girlfriend Laura, our son Joseph's wife Twyla, and their two sons, our grandsons Joseph and Trevin, and Cindy's husband, my sister Cindy's husband, Brian. To my sisters Cindy and Martha, we grew up in a family of love, but make no mistake about it, a family with expectations, and we embraced striving for success. We welcomed that and supported each other throughout. Being your brother gave me purpose. Joseph and Paul, you are both a son and a friend. I coached you both. You played together on your high school team. We have videos of goals being scored where the goal scorer and the player with the assist were standing side by side, congratulating each other as teammates and brothers. You played together on a high school state championship team. As your parents, we always wanted to give each of you the best life we could, as our sons. But what we didn't know, that you, as our sons, would be a part of the best that life would ever give to us. Being your dad gave me purpose. When our boys stopped playing soccer, Anne Marie playfully declared that she was done going to soccer games. Now, keep in mind, she had gone to youth games, high school games, college games, and with me, professional games, run camps, and traveled to Europe with a number of our club youth teams, and has been to 30 conventions herself. So I understood her declaration. However, one night, sometime after she had given me this declaration, we ended up at a high school game, a beautiful fall New England evening, enjoying a soccer match. Some couples go to the movies, museums, out to dinner. We go to soccer games. While watching the game, I reminded her of her declaration, and we both chuckled a bit.
but also realize that there had indeed been a sharing going on for many, many years. Our love for each other we shared together with the sport of soccer, not separately, but together. Thank you, Anne-Marie, for being together throughout, added an understanding of what love truly means. Being your husband gave me purpose. In closing, I borrow some words from the first commissioner of MLS, Doug Logan, who in a piece he authored discussing aging captured how I at this very moment feel about my story and this soccer journey I began many years ago. I spent a lot of years furiously pedaling my ambition bike up the steep hill I chose for it. Now it feels good to coast down the far side, examining not only the what, but the how and the why. I am one happy guy. At times like these, we realize that this is the end of a chapter for some of us and the start of a new one for others. And that is exactly the way every story goes. From the entire Cummings family, thank you. And now back to our MC.
Stay right here. And now we invite the entire Cummings clan. Come on up here. Anne-Marie, Joseph, Paul, sisters, brothers. Come on. Folks, it's been a long evening, but a great evening, and we invite all of you to stop by and offer Joe and Anne-Marie and the rest of the Cummings family your congratulations. Enjoy the rest of the convention, and we're going to see you all next year in Philadelphia. Come on up.